Hello, I welcome to UPSC Prelims Chaturya series of Shanta Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we will discuss the daily prelims and CQs from the Hindu, Indian Express, and PIB. Let's get started. The first question: consider the following statements with respect to the heat waves. A heat wave is a period of abnormally high temperatures, more than the normal maximum temperature. If there is an increase in temperature by 8 degrees Celsius or more, that is known as moderate heat wave. Central government declared heat wave is a national calamity. How many of the statement given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. This was in news recently. For 26 days this April, either a small pocket or considerably large geographical area in India experienced heat wave conditions according to data provided by the Indian Meteorological Department. While the southern peninsular India and southeastern coastal areas have been the worst affected, the northern plains are yet to experience heat wave condition this season. About heat waves, a heat wave is a period of abnormally high temperatures, more than the normal maximum temperature that lasts for more than 2 days. Heat waves can occur with or without high humidity and have the potential to cover a large area, exposing high number of people to hazardous heat. Central government has declared cold waves, tsunami, etc. as a national calamity but not heat waves. If there is an increase in temperature by 6 to 7 degrees Celsius above normal, that is known as the moderate heat wave, whereas if it is 8 degrees Celsius or more, that is known as a severe heat wave. So the answer is only one, because if there is an increase in temperature by 8 degrees Celsius or more, that is known as severe heat wave, not moderate heat wave. Central government did not declare the heat wave is a national calamity. Moving to the next question. With reference to the Great Rift Valley, consider the following statements. It is a part of a larger feature called East African Rift Valley. It was formed about 30 million years ago when tectonic plates split and gave rise to Eastern African Rift. Which of the statement given above is not correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. At least 42 people died when a dam burst its banks near a town in Kenya's Rift Valley as heavy rains and floods battered the country. About Great Rift Valley, it is one of the most extensive rifts on Earth's surface that runs along parts of East Africa. It runs for 4,000 miles from Jordan in southwestern Asia to the coast of the Indian Ocean in central Mozambique. It runs across many countries: Eritrea, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Malawi, and Zambia, and Mozambique. It is a part of larger feature called the East African Rift System formation. The valley is situated in region where three tectonic plates meet. It was formed about 40 million years ago when tectonic plates split and gave rise to the East African Rift. The valley is 30 to 40 miles wide on average but reaches nearly 300 miles at its widest section in the Danakil Desert in northeastern Africa. The steep walls of the valley rise about 3,000 feet above the valley floor. In some places, there are cliffs that reach 9,000 feet high. The area is geologically active and features volcanoes, hot springs, geysers, and frequent earthquakes. A series of some 30 lakes lies along its length. The three largest Africa are known as the Great Lakes and include Lake Tanganyika, the second deepest lake in the world, and Lake Victoria, and second largest freshwater lake by surface area in the world. Many of Africa's highest mountains, including Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, and Mount Margarita, are in ranges fronting the Rift Valley. What is Rift Valley? A Rift Valley is a lowland region that forms where earth tectonic plates move apart or rift. Rift valleys are found on land and the bottom of the ocean, where they are created by the process of seafloor spreading. So the answer is 2 only, because it was formed about 40 million years ago when tectonic plates split and gave rise to the East African Rift, not 30 million. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements about essential program immunization. It was launched by the World Health Organization in 1974. India launched the EPI in 1978, which was later renamed as the Universal Immunization Program. The EPI was introduced as the eradication of smallpox virus on the horizon. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. The year 2024 marks a significant milestone for immunization program both globally and in India. It commemorates 50 years since the launch of the expanded program on immunization by the World Health Organization in 1974. The EPI was introduced as the eradication of smallpox virus on the horizon and need to leverage the then immunization infrastructure and trained workforce was recognized to expand the benefits of available vaccines. Following the announcement, nearly every country across the world initiated its national immunization program. India launched the EPA in 1978, which was later renamed as Universal Immunization Program in 1985. In India, this year is also 2 decades since the country conducted the last national-wide independent field evaluation of the UIP in collaboration with international experts. This is an opportune moment to assess the progress made and envision the future. So the answer is all three are correct. Moving to the next question. Choose correct one with respect to the look our circulars. Look our circulars are initiated by only CBI and enforcement directors. It is a notice to stop any individual wanted by the police, investigating agents, or even a bank from leaving or entering the country through designated land, air, or seaports. The LOCs under challenge were issued by the Bureau of Immigration of the Ministry of Home Affairs. How many of the statement given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. The Bombay High Court has held that public sector banks cannot recommend or request the issuance of lookout circulars against loan defaulters and has set aside the provisions of the central government office memoranda that empowered the public sector banks to do so. About it is a notice to stop any individual wanted by the police, investigating agency, or even a bank from leaving or entering the country through designated land, air, and seaports. The Bureau of Immigration is tasked to stop any such individual against whom such a notice exists from leaving or entering the country. LOCs can be modified, deleted, or withdrawn only at the request of the originator. As for norms, an LOC will stay valid for maximum period of 12 months, and if there is no fresh request from the agency, then it will not be automatically revived. Who issues LOC? According to the existing guidelines, LOCs are initiated by a larger number of agencies, which include CBI, Enforcement Director, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, Income Tax, and in state police and intelligence agencies, among others, by an officer not below the rank of district magistrate or superintendent of police. The LOCs under challenge were issued by the Bureau of Immigration of Ministry of Home Affairs. So the answer is only two, because CBI, Enforcement Directors, Director of Revenue Intelligence, Income Tax, State and Police Investigation Agencies, and not only CBI and Enforcement Directors. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Global Leaders Group on Antimicrobial Resistance. It consists of world leaders and experts from across the sectors working together to accelerate political actions on antimicrobial resistance. It was established in 2020 following the recommendations of Interagency Coordination Group on Antimicrobial Resistance to strengthen global political momentum and leadership on AMR. Which of the statement given above are not correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. Recently, the European Society for Clinical Microbiology and Infectious Disease and the Global Leaders Group on AMR jointly organized a high-level event forging partnership between science and policy in Barcelona, Spain. About this, it consists of world leaders and experts from across the sectors working together to accelerate political actions on antimicrobial resistance. The group performs an independent global advisory and advocacy role and works to maintain urgency, public support, political momentum, and visibility of AMR challenge on the global health and development agenda. Background: the Global Leaders Group on Antimicrobial Resistance was established in November 2020, followed the recommendations of the Interagency Coordination Group on Antimicrobial Resistance to strengthen global political momentum and leadership on AMR. The inaugural meeting of the group took place in January 2021. Secretariat: the Quadripartite Joint Secretariat on Antimicrobial Resistance, a joint effort by the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations, the United Nations Environment Programme, and the WOAH provide secretariat support for the group. So the answer is neither one or two are correct because both the statements are correct. Thank you. This is the today's session.